Do the signals on Polish railways seem too complicated to you? They are actually simple. All you need to do is remember a few dependencies, connect them, and you will be able to read Polish railway signals. Let's start with the fact that signaling may concern maneuvers or train driving. In the maneuver mode, we are interested in MS1, MS2, and S1 signaling. The MS1 signal prohibits further driving beyond the semaphore, just like S1. MS2 allows you to continue driving in maneuver mode. Let's add as a bonus information that the W5 sign prohibits further maneuvering. Signals are provided into semaphores, repeaters, and shields, for example warning shield, and SBL signaling. Semaphores, apart from shunting signals, have a double task. They always inform about the next semaphore and may, but do not have to, order a speed limit from the moment of crossing this semaphore. The exception is the S1 signal stop, which prohibits further driving and does not inform about the next semaphore. We need to stop, so there is no point to informing about it. To put it simply, the upper part of the semaphore informs what the next semaphore will be, and the lower part introduces a change in speed when the current semaphore passes. Let's start with the possible speed limit options on semaphores. So let's see what the lower part of the semaphore might look like. Red light as one stop signal, you can't cross it. Orange light, speed limit 40 km per hour. Orange light with an orange stripe underneath, speed limit 60 km per hour. Orange light with a green stripe underneath, speed limit 100 km per hour. Additional display of a number under the semaphore modifies the limitation to this number multiplied by 10. Now let's check what we can see in the upper part of the semaphore. I mean, what lights warn about the speed limit at the next semaphore. Green light, driving at the highest possible speed at the next semaphore. Other possibility is there is no next semaphore nearby. We'll discuss this in a moment. Green flashing light, the next semaphore limits the speed to 100 km per hour. Orange flashing light, the next semaphore limits the speed to 40 or 60 km per hour. When we see a flashing orange light, we don't know whether the speed limit will be 40 or 60 km per hour. Only when we see the next semaphore we can be sure which of these two restrictions occurs, depending on whether there is an orange stripe underneath and the speed limit is 60 km per hour, or not and the speed limit is 40 km per hour. Orange light, the next semaphore is the S1 signal stop. I said earlier that the upper green light could mean that there is no next associated semaphore. Indeed, the next signal often shows the speed limit at the bottom and the green light at the top. Such a semaphore should be read as current speed limit on switches. After the entire train has passed through the last switch, drive at the maximum permitted speed. There is no next semaphore allowing to drive at the maximum permitted speed nearby. Sometimes the semaphore is placed behind the bend on in another place and it's not clearly visible. To warn the driver what the speed limit is on the semaphore, we use repeaters. that are signals informing that there is a semaphore with an appropriate limitation nearby. The semaphore can be announced by the group of the as many as 3 repeaters. The repeaters take the form of a white light at the bottom and exactly the same signals above the white light as can be found at the top of the semaphores. For example, a repeater with green and white lights, it will warn about the approaching semaphore, allowing you to drive at the highest possible speed. White, orange and white light, it will warn of the approaching semaphore S1 stop. In this video, we see a repeater indicating that the S1 signal is next. The semaphore will change in a moment, which will change the repeater announcing it. There was a change in the semaphore and also a change in the repeater. Warning shields are, in short word, small traffic lights. For our purposes, let's say they can display exactly the same signals as repeaters, just without the white light, announcing a speed limit at the next semaphore. The warning shield is used, among others, to inform about the entrance semaphore to the station. Then the W1 sign is located under the signal. Here we can see the example diagram of what the signal agreement may look like. Driving from the right side, we see the entrance warning shield announcing a semaphore with a speed limit to 100 km/h. Then we see the repeater that reports exactly the same thing. Then we have the entrance semaphore limiting the speed to 100 km/h and informing that the next semaphore will introduce a speed limit to 40 or 60 km/h. This next semaphore is set here. It introduces a speed limit to 40 km/h and then announces driving at the highest possible speed. The restriction ends when the entire train has left last switch. Now he can go at the highest possible speed. The situation is slightly different in the linear blocks called SBL, which I will discuss in more detail in another video. In short word, SBL semaphores inform about the occupancy of the section ahead of them, and not about speed limits. Apart from the last one with the W18 sign, this one serves as a warning shield before the entrance semaphore. SBL semaphores are placed on uniformly white painted poles. For our purposes, we can assume that all SBL semaphores work as warning signals except for the flashing green light signal. On SBL, it will not indicate the next semaphore with the speed limit of 100 km/h, but will mean that the next SBL semaphore is orange. Railway breakdowns happen. Sometimes the semaphore does not display any signal or displays an incorrect one. It cannot be interpreted correctly according to the regulations. We call such a semaphore questionable. What then? The driver is obligated to stop before such a semaphore because a semaphore with a questionable signal should be treated as an S1 stop semaphore. You should stop and report the questionable signal to the dispatcher. In a situation where the dispatcher cannot give the signal correctly, he may turn on and substitute signal at some semaphores. Polish sygnał zastępczy, short form SZ. He does this by displaying a flashing white light. The flashing white light cancels the signal that is displayed beyond the flashing white light and allow you to drive with caution at the speed limit of 40 km/h. There will be a separate video about the substitute signal. The crossing warning signal with a characteristic shape gives information to the driver whether the devices at the crossing, road intersection, are working properly. Correct working is indicated by two vertical white lights. If something is wrong on intersection, two orange lights are displayed horizontally. Then you should report this fact to the dispatcher and drive through the crossing at the maximum speed of 20 km/h, being careful. There may be the W24 indicator lit under the semaphore, indicating that the train will continue on the left track. Just like on Polish roads, right-hand traffic applies on railways. The need to drive on the left track is an exception, and the W24 indicator informs about such a situation. For safety reasons, the driver should turn off the white left light at the front of the train and turn on the red light in its place when traveling on the wrong track. Thank you for watching the video. Feel free to comment. If you learned something and want to motivate me to create more videos about Polish railways, please like this video. Thank you, bye.